I know I'm usually on here talking about perimenopause, but I wanted to switch gears for a second because I've been getting some questions from people who have seen me online before this and know that I was sort of on a hiatus for a while and want to know if I'm going to come back on and start talking about things like psychic readings, mediumship, manifestation, and all of that like I used to do. I was doing psychic readings and mediumship readings professionally, and I was teaching classes, and I stopped doing that a few years ago because, perimenopause, first of all, like just threw me for a loop. My energy just got super low, and I was overstimulated really easily, and I really needed a break. Like I needed time for me, for self-care. And also to step off of social media. Just needed an energy cleanse, and I ended up taking quite much longer of a hiatus than I anticipated, but I needed that. And now that I'm back on, people want to know if I'm going to start posting that content again. And the answer is not right now. I don't feel totally called. I'm not going to do readings professionally as of right now. In the future, maybe. I always leave everything out there as a possibility. I don't ever say no. But for now, no. But people have been sending me some questions about psychic questions, mediumship questions, and I'm okay with answering those questions on my TikTok. I have to give people a warning though. You may not like the answers that I have. I will answer these questions about doing mediumship readings or about loved ones in spirit or psychic readings, and I'm very, very simplistic. I keep spirit very, very simple. And people get kind of pissed off with that because sometimes I swear as humans, we love to complicate things. We love to put a label and a definition and make it hard when actually I feel like spirit is the most simple thing possible. It's where we came from. It's just pure energy. There's nothing complicated about it. And we can't apply our human thinking and our human labeling to spirit. And when I say you're not going to like the answers, I don't mean that I'm going to be like rude, sarcastic. That is a huge no-no to me for psychic readings. And I know it's very popular, and you'll see it when people advertise. They say that they're brutally honest, and you might not like what I have to say and tough love, but I fucking hate that shit. And so that's not me. I think when people come to get psychic readings, it's a very emotional thing. It's, people are looking for clarity. They're looking for answers. Sometimes they're grieving, and that's not the place for tough love. It's just not. You can do it. And maybe some people enjoy that, but I feel like there's a way to be perfectly honest and clear and concise without being brutal. There's nothing brutal about honesty. Honesty can be done with grace. So what I meant by people not liking it was that, again, humans sometimes like to complicate things. And when I say it, it's going to sound overly simplistic, like stupid simple. And I just invite you to trust that. Just trust that spirit is actually that simple, and that every single human being, has the ability to do psychic readings or mediumship, to connect with that side. And if you're going to be on here with religious stuff and Bible stuff and start, giving hate, nothing but love for you. You're free to do that and free to have your opinions, but I will stand on the hill all day long that people who do this work with integrity are actually getting their inspiration from the Most High. There is no other way, because God, universe, spirit, whatever you call it, is the all-knowing, is the I am, and that is the energy that our higher self connects with and we were born with some of that. So that's, anyone has the ability to do this. So when I tell you these things, I'm only sharing with you things that you already know on a deep gut soul level. The most common question that I get about mediumship readings is my loved one in spirit okay? That is hands down the most common one. And I want everyone out there to know that yes, your loved one is absolutely 1,000% okay. Even if the circumstances of their passing was very, very difficult, their spirit self that have transitioned and crossed over to the other side is absolutely okay, absolutely at peace, and absolutely happy. So again, you may be feeling like, How could that be? Maybe, like I said, the circumstances surrounding their death were really difficult, or maybe they were really unhappy in their human life or going through a lot of circumstances. Maybe their whole life was full of obstacles and difficulties. And I get that, believe me. It seems really hard to understand and wrap our minds around, but we have to remember that spirit, God, is just pure energy, meaning love and just surrender, acceptance, all knowing, just infinite intelligence and wisdom. So that's where they are. That is how they feel. It's just love, bliss, and infinite intelligence and wisdom at all times. There is nothing else. Anything else is human. It's a human characteristic, human trait, and that just doesn't happen. Now, they can remember, because of infinite intelligence, they can remember who they were. They remember everything they said, everything they thought, whatever they did for work, what they looked like, what their preferences were, what their personalities were like, what their loved ones were like. They remember all of that. So when you're in a reading and they bring up something that's really specific, it's not because that's how they currently are in spirit. It's because they're going to call on all of the memories and everything that they know to help you trust what you're hearing and know that you're getting that validation. So for example, you might hear from a medium that, Aunt Sally is sitting in her rocking chair knitting, wearing her favorite Red Sox jacket or Red Sox hat because she was a huge Red Sox fan. And that is absolutely true. And that's being communicated to you so that you can get validation that Aunt Sally really is there with you. But what she's not doing is sitting up in spirit, upset and sad because the Red Sox just lost their last game, right? Like we might say down here, we think that our loved ones in spirit think the same way we do, or think the same way that they did in life. So this one is still cranky. This one is upset because this is happening in the world. They're devastated because this one's president, or whatever it is. And I guarantee you that they're not. And why? Because they don't have those preferences. They know that this is all human bullshit that's happening, and that they know God's plan. We don't even know God's plan. That's why they're at peace, because they know the plan. They know the plan in the past, all that's happened, and they know what's coming. So there's none of that emotion and feeling. They're not mad at, any of your family members or at you for anything. That they don't sit up there in resentment. They're not mad or sad about anything that happened. Or if you feel like you're sad because you weren't there, when they passed or when they were sick. They're not holding a grudge. I promise you, it's nothing but love, and they understand the circumstances. This is really hard for our human minds to wrap around, and this is where we get uncomfortable, because we can't imagine that they don't have feelings and they're not upset about things. Like, for example, if you had a loved one who was in the military, who was a soldier, and sadly lost their lives in a war previously, you're thinking, oh, they're either up there so pissed off at the way the world is going right now because they can't believe it, and that's not what they fought for, and they're mad that they gave their lives for nothing because now the world is all screwed up again. And I promise you, they're not feeling that way. They understand what's happening right now. They understand what it is and why it is. We can't even begin, because understanding God's plans is too much for our human brains. Our human bodies and brains don't have the capacity to hold that level of wisdom. I mean, we literally probably implode from trying to understand, right? I mean, just as an example, I was shown a little bit of what it is to feel God's love and Spirit's love. And would I tell you, my eyes were tears were pouring out of my eye. I couldn't stop it. And I felt like I was being squeezed, but not in a bad way. It was actually okay, because it was so much love, my human body couldn't even contain it. That's what it would be like to know God's plan. Like, we couldn't even deal with it. So just know that your loved ones are totally fine. They're at peace. They understand everything. They love you unconditionally. Unconditional is absolutely possible up there. They don't have human limitations, and they're with you every moment that you ask them to be. So if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments, or even if you don't agree with me, still absolutely let me know. I'm fine with all opinions.